Good day, everyone. My video this week is born out of a sense of dismay and consternation. Yesterday, I was at a certain school for a meeting. It also happened to be the open house at that school, the day when parents are invited to meet the teachers. I saw this charming little girl hopping around cheerfully, chattering like a magpie excitedly with her little friends. Her mother, on the other hand, seemed very tense, obviously getting the heebie-jeebies about her child's marks and grades, and wondering what on earth the teacher was going to say. Cut to half an hour later. My meeting over, I stepped into the corridor and saw that same little girl, totally dejected, in tears, and her mother berating her loudly at not getting the same marks or better marks than Ankita and Joanna. And as I walked away, the last I heard her say was, "They are so much better than you." That little girl had learnt her lesson in cruel comparison. I am the first to admit that as a parent, I have been a very strict disciplinarian, and I continue that path now in my role as a grandparent. My children definitely did not like it, and my grandchildren won't too, but I have no regrets. If there is something going wrong, you are bound to chastise and correct it. But comparing children to others and berating them in public, never. Every child is unique and has his own sets of talents and setbacks, which we as adults have to recognize and nurture and encourage them in the right path. I know today, because the system is so competitive, I do know that mothers and fathers compare children to find possibly a benchmark about their own child's milestones. One of my ex-students, when she had her child at a school-going age, she told me, she says, "Ma'am, we compare only because we want to set out a role model." Really? A role model is taken from someone older, someone with more experience, someone who the child can look up to. You don't choose a role model from among the child's own classmates. That is nothing but comparison. You know, when the child gets older, he will come into his own. But this constant haranguing of a child can do nothing but lower his self-esteem and build an inferiority complex. Childhood is not a race to the top. There is no set timeline for a child to achieve and to do things. Children develop at a different time and a different pace. So let them find that level. This labeling will shortchange children. And you know, the little ones look up to mommy and daddy to everything they say. So the moment you label them negatively, it will probably become a self-fulfilling prophecy. They need to have confidence built. And the more you compare them, the more they will resent their classmates. So if your child becomes an introvert, you have only yourself to blame. As I said earlier, I know that the system today is very competitive. But let your child be a child. These times and days will never come again. How would you like it if your child turned around to you and said, "Why can't you be more like Rohan's parents? They never compare him to anyone. They just let him be"? Very good advice. By all means, correct your child if things are going wrong, but don't ever compare them to others. There is no comparison between the sun and the moon. Each one shines in its own time. So let them